Hello, in this short video tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can add an assignment activity to your Moodle course for students to be able to submit work to you. I'm starting at the front page of my Moodle course, and I want to go to the right-hand side and click on the Turn Editing On button. Then I'm going to click on the link here that says Add an Activity or Resource. And we are going to use the first selection of assignment. The way Moodle used to do assignments is that it used to have 4 separate assignments, and now what they've done is taken those and merged them into one type of assessment, which is a very good change for us because in the past, if you started out thinking you wanted an online text assignment and then maybe decided you changed your mind and wanted a different type of assignment, you had to restart over and just kind of create a brand new one. You couldn't just kind of change midway. So this is a good thing because if you decide to make changes later on down the road, it's not going to be a big issue. So we're going to select the top assignment choice and say Add. And now we can configure the settings of our assignment. And we start out with choosing a title that's going to show up on the front page of our Moodle. This is a reflection. The description is just the instructions. And if you want to change any formatting here, like with bold or have a bulleted list, add a picture, a hyperlink, you would need to click on where it says Show Editing Tools. And sometimes if you want more room to type, you can just click on this where it says Toggle Full Screen Mode. And I'm going to begin typing my instructions. And from here, if I wanted to do any formatting, I would select my text. I'm going to make my text a little larger. And that's about it. All I really need to do here, I'm going to go back to close the full screen editing mode. Display the description on the course page. You may choose to do that sometimes. For this one, smaller kind of assignment, I'm not going to do that. It'll try to fill in a date when the activity becomes available. You can change that if needed. And also it will put in a week for the due date. You can change that so it can be more than a week. And you can also disable that so there's no, hard deadline. Although it's okay because you can still have students submit work late and it'll be timestamped so you know that it's late. So I'll just leave that as is. Submission types. This is where the 4 different kinds of assignments were kind of merged into one. Because you can have here the students to upload a file and submit it to you. You can also have them upload more than one file. And this just says what's the highest size that the upload can be. So let's say, 1 meg is the very largest, so I would leave that as is. Also, if the student was not going to submit a file to you, but they were just going to type their response and send it to you, or maybe paste a web address or something in the text box to share with you, that's where you could use online text. And submission comments just means that a student would get a box where they can also type a short message to you, just any kind of feedback they need to give you as they're submitting their work. So I'll leave that as is so you can see what that's like, and I'll do this if it's like a file submission, although it could just be online text. Feedback types. That means when you go to score their work, this means that there would be a box for you to type comments to the students. I'll leave that as is. You also have this option to upload a file to then send back to the student once you've marked their work. So that's kind of a nice option too. You might not need that all the time, but it's a possibility. The offline grading worksheet is very convenient because that's where you can give credit to a student and it will show up in the Moodle gradebook for something that maybe you collected in class, whether it's paper, some hard copy, or maybe it's something observational like, oh, they got participation points for the good work they did when they were working in a group, something like that. So offline grading means it's not going to be submitted to you, physically. Their work's not going to be submitted to you by them. It's going to be a way for you to kind of have this placeholder in the grade book for you to give students credit on something that they have done and possibly turned into you physically. So that's just about that. Also, I just want to point this out. If you are ever wondering or forget maybe what that's about, you can just click on the question marks anytime you see those in Moodle to get more information. Submission settings. Require the students to click a submit button. I don't always do that only because sometimes students forget that. And no matter how many times you tell them, sometimes they forget to click the submit button. They think it's submitted for your grading, but on your side, you don't see that it's submitted. So this is just a way to offer a little more flexibility. If they have to click the submit button, there is a submission statement. I'm going to leave that no because we're not going to use the submit button. And also after they submit, can they go back to open their attempt after they submit it. So that's up to you. Group submission settings. If you were going to have the students submit this as a group activity, and that's one of the last options here for group mode, I'm going to leave this as no groups, but this would allow students to kind of submit as one if it was a group activity. We're just going to have this as an individual student activity at this time. You can choose to have an email every time a student submits their work to you. You know, if you have 100 students, that's 100 emails, so that might be overwhelming. Maybe you would only choose to do that at very, specific times. But this just means when a student submits, you will get an email saying that it's ready to be graded. So that's totally up to you. And this is to notify graders of late submissions. So those late submissions may be more few and far between, so hopefully that wouldn't fill up your email box too badly. So maybe I would say yes. And that maybe is helpful because sometimes as I'm moving through and, kind of trying to keep up with the current assignments, it's hard to always kind of go back and, it's just one more thing to kind of be checking on those late assignments sometimes. So that's a little safeguard for you. And the grade, do you want to use something on the 100-point scale, or would you like to use something if there's more options of scales like complete, incomplete, a yes or a no, or no grade at all? So sometimes you can do things if you don't need an actual number grade. And I'll just do 100 points. Grading method you could just leave as simple direct grading. You don't need to do anything here with the categories or the blind marking. It means, do we want this to be showing on the front page of our Moodle? Yes, we do. We're all set to go. We're going to save and return to the course. And here we see on the front page of our Moodle, we have our assignment we've just created. I know it's an assignment because it's got the paper with the hand. That's kind of the icon that is always attached to the assignment in Moodle. I'm going to go over here, switch my role to the student, just so you can get a look at that. And I'll click there. So for a student, they are going to see the instructions that we have given them. They'll see they have not done an attempt yet. It's not graded, but it is due. And they can go to add submission. And at this point, they would be able to add their file and upload it from wherever it's saved and upload the file there. And here, I would be able to just say save changes, and that submits for grading. And here was that little area too for the submission comment. So just wanted you guys to see what that looked like. Really small amount of text there. All right, so thanks so much for watching this video, and I wish you luck as you are adding assignments to your Moodle course.